Hello Stamper, welcome to Frenchie's video. I'm Frances Martin, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up at FrenchieStamps.com in the US. Today I was inspired by Kim Jolly, I think that's the way you say her name, not sure, to do a very vintage a card with Good Morning Magnolia. I absolutely love this. It's not assembled because I want to assemble in front of you because I'm afraid when we do the other one it's going to be too wet. So most of it's watercolor, but it's the simple watercolor, okay? This one here, it is done on watercolor paper, but we're going to try the card base this time on crumb cake. And yes, we're still going to watercolor. So, oops, we're gonna use our crumb cake here, and I'm gonna put that about here, and I'm gonna put my magnet because we're gonna go a few times. That's about right. So just place at the bottom. You're gonna go off a bit because really you just want to concentrate on the big flower itself. And I do have a magnolia tree here at the front of the house. They are gorgeous, and really when they start after they open, they don't last long. After they open, like maybe 2 days after, they start to get that vintage look, that brownish. So when I saw that card, I'm like, I need to do that. Now I'm gonna use Stays On, and I'm gonna ink my stamp very, very lovely, and I bet we're gonna have to do twice, okay? I'm gonna put that there. Really put good pressure for the Stays On, because Stays On dry kind of fast. I'm gonna put my finger there. See? So that's why I want the stamp apparatus, so we can really stamp a few times and have a deep, deep image, okay? This one, it's not too important because we're going to color and mount on top of it, but the leaves, though, it's really the leaf. The flower itself, that's a different story. So I won't, I'm going to do the bottom there. The center there, I won't worry about it because it's going to get covered with the other flower that we're going to do. Here we go. So that is good. Now the next thing that I done the same thing on watercolor paper. This one, it's sometimes it wants to stick, so it moved a little bit, but we're still going to use it. And then I got another one that I started color. So you're going to need 2 of just the flower. So you don't need the whole thing, really, just the flower. So stamp 2 of that on watercolor paper. Now I'm going to share with you how to color this. Let me bring my nasty paper here while using another one. This one's still okay, right? And the trick when it comes to the watercolor, let me bring you a bit closer here. Okay, now the trick to this is I'm using that watercolor painter there, and this usually you untie, this one will reverse, okay? You just open this, put water in your barrel. Now, see, I'm going to tighten it because really you're going on the left, turning that way, it's good the other way. Well, really, righty-tighty, really you turn on the right, I guess it's right. Now, squeeze the water, make sure that you get water. And you want a hanky rag or whatever, a piece of paper towel or something. My hanky rag is very look nasty, but that's what I use. And yes, it gets washed, but it's very stained, and I keep on using it. So this one here is going to be the outline itself. So really the center, it don't matter. I'm still going to share with you how I done the center because I pre-done this one here. So I'm using soft suede, and I use blocks. So I just tap my blocks. So that's my soft suede. And then we're going to use Sarah Sand. I thought I had here's my, this is all olive. Here's my Sarah Sand. And then I'm going to do crumb cake also. And crumb cake, I got some in my container there. I'm going to keep that. You're going to start with, or I started with soft suede. And what I done with my soft suede, it would be like for the layer in the center. So this one, I wouldn't have to do this, but I'm just doing it to share with you how I done it. So everything that it shaded in the dark, there where the artist put it, it was dark. I put that with the soft suede. And you're going to pass it a bit. You see, I just swiggle it a bit. That's what I done. That is it to it. So when I say watercolor, really, it's just like a little bit of wash. I didn't went in detail and so on. Now the petal that are, it's kind of curl, that's going to get in the dark also. That's going to be your soft suede. So you see this, boom. So that you're going to finish the center. Now for the outline, so really this one is just the outline. So I'm going to go again where the dark was, and I'm going to add where the dark is, because really some of it going to show there. I should have maybe stamped that again on another piece. I could have went on the other side. That's okay. It's just going to add some character. That's it. And then I'm going to go my lines. So everything that the artist did in the dark, you want that more in the soft suede around it. That's it. After that you're done with this, you're going to go ahead and you're going to use the Sarah sand. Again, make sure your brush is wet. And when I go for the the Sarah sand, I like to wet the paper first, and I go by bite size. It's whatever you think you're going to do before it really dry. And then I'm going to add a little bit, and you don't have to be careful on the side because it's going to get cut. So really this is going to get cut also, and we're just going to see the outline of those petals there. Well, a little bit more. We're going to see the first layer of the petal. See, this one I didn't wet it, and this is exactly why I say wet your paper first. You see the chunk of the color there? So if you wet your paper first, that won't happen. So I'm going to make sure this is wet. Now I'm going to wet my petal here, and then I'm going to come and add some color. And add some color. First you're going to say, oh, let's add more water here. You're going to say, that look yee, but wait till it's done. It's very, very lovely. So now that I got this part done, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add, I lost my my piece here. Here we go. I'm going to add a little bit more of the dark here where I think it should have more dark. I'm just going to go ahead and add that. You don't have to fuss that much with it. I just love to add those color. I just think this is very relaxing. I'm just doing around the petal because it's going to be 3D and I don't want them to see the white in the back. So this going to get the mount on top of it, but I want to have all the side of the petal done, so where we mount them we won't see the white under. Here we go. That is done. So you're going to do one this way and one just the center. Okay, after that is done, now we're going to bring the one that we done, and this one, to help to moisten my paper, I'm using my spritz bottle here. And I'm going to spritz my paper. Et voila. Now, I'm going to use my crumb cake first. I want to make sure this is very wet here. And I'm going to add some crumb cake on top of the crumb cake just to age that up. So this is on the crumb cake. And I did the same thing on my watercolor paper on the other one that I showed you earlier. The same thing. I added all the colors that I'm going to be adding. That's what I done. So now I added some crumb cake. I'm going to go ahead and add some Sarah sand also. Some place I go darker, some place I go lighter. It is no right and wrong. And remember, as it dries, it will get lighter. Now I want to make sure this is very wet. I'm going to make water there. And I'm going to even add some green. So just marble that here and there. Add some green. Now we're going to do the leaves. That you want more color. And again, you're going to go heavier on the color that you got, where you get the black. You're going to put more green there. Whoops, wrong color. That's okay, you wipe it. And this was part of the leaf too that we cut out. I mean, we stamp off there. See, just add. And the best thing, if you have to add more color, darker, let it dry and then come back. If you keep on trying to add more and more color while it's wet, it's just going to run down. So it's better off if you let it do the process, dry and so on, and then come back and add more of the colors. And if you watch my brush, you see that I just pretty much wiggle. I don't know if I can call this watercolor, because really I don't do much in the coloring and blending. Now I'm going to come back here, and this is where I'm going to add more dark where it should be more dark. If it bleed there, that you leave it that way. Watercolor should bleed a bit, absolutely, so don't worry about that. Here we go. So that's pretty good, and I really like it on the on the crumb cake also. See, it look marbleized. I really think I need more color in the background, so I can come here and we're going to add on the branch darker here. Maybe I should add some soft suede to the branch, make that darker here. And you can even add a bit of brown to the leaf. That just gives some character, like the leaf it's old and so on. Okay, now let me add a bit more. So I would add maybe a bit more of the colors in my background, absolutely, but we don't want to stay here all day, right? See, I'm just adding different colors. So I would let that dry, do the process. Now, let me share with you, we're going to do a little bit more to this. We're going to splatter it, so we're going to let that dry on the side for now. Let me share how simple it is to cut the flower. So to cut the flower, I'm going to go right at the edge, and it is a die for this, but I don't want to use the die, and the reason why, I want to have just the flower, so the die cut the leaf and so on. So no matter what, if you want to do what I'm doing, you're going to have to cut it by hand, or if you get a special machine to cut it, the inside going to have to be cut and so on. I just follow the line, and if you watch, my left hand move the paper and my right hand open and close the scissors, and that's what make it fussy cutting the easy way. It's that one hand that all the scissors just open and close the scissors, and the other hand move the paper, so then you don't have the nick of the scissors mark. That would be the right way. Voila. Now for the next one, the way we're going to cut it, we're going to cut inside the petals. So I'm going to come right in here, and I'm going to cut the inside of the petals. So that's why you want to have this part here, the side of it, the inside of the petal color, because the way we're going to raise that up, we don't want to see white under. And then this here, I was debating, was I keeping that or not? I kept it first, and then I went back in and removed it. So here in the center, stop about where it starts, all that little lines there, and I'm going to share with you how we're going to finish that. I would suggest that maybe you let your paper dry before you cut it. That's going to be easier. Or you can cut it this way. It's just that sometimes you don't want to cut good when it's wet like this. You can take the heat tool absolutely to dry it, but I'm just trying to process quicker. So now you see I got this. So this is how I cut that. That looked very funky, right? Don't worry. What I done, to age it even more, you can take your scissors and rough the edge. So that's why it make it very simple to do this. If you go around like this, I would suggest maybe to take a marker, soft suede or a crumb cake, whatever, and you want to go around your petal or this to remove that white there. So you don't want to really see the white. So if you go around your flower, this is going to help big time. So again, I would just go around, and you don't want to use the tip, you use the side, so then you don't damage the tip of your marker. This is the regular marker, it's not the blends, or this is just the regular marker that I do this when I cut little thing. Okay, we got that. Now you're going to take your scissors and you're going to curve this, hold this tight again, maybe doing that by when it's dry would be better. Here we go. Now we got this. Before we glue it, we want to make sure that it's all good. So here I can have a bit more colors. So that's where I told you, you know, we wanted some nuts. See, a chunk of white, it's okay, but not all white, right? And you know what, just add a little bit here. More water. Here we go. My water was not coming out. Here we go. Now let's put that at the top. Et voila. Oops. This go right here. See, so then it curled, you see the back. Okay, let me share with you how we're going to finish the card. Now, I use an old wink of Stella. What I mean old, it's kind of empty, okay? It's pretty much empty. And I just use them like for a brush. I'm using basic gray that I thought I had put some. Well, let's look. I'm sure I'm going to find a chunk of basic gray someplace. Let me reach this here with basic gray. Let me just drop there in the container, or you can use the clear block, whatever you prefer. Now, before I use the stamp set, a Christmas one. I use Peaceful Bot and the little dots there. And we're gonna stamp those little dots there. I'm gonna use soft suede on this one, and I'm gonna stamp off, and then here we go. I just want a little bit. Here we go, we got that. Now let's flicker some of the dots. So I'm gonna use my wink of Stella. Like I said, it's kind of empty. You can put some alcohol in that. And what I like also about that, when you put alcohol instead of water, it dries super fast. Now you're going to take your cap and just flicker. See the dots? And I wanted to do that before we're going to mount the card itself. So this, sometimes you see all those little splatter on the card. This make it very simple. Now what I do is just wipe my cover inside there. Like I said, I keep this one really for this stuff, and then just wipe your brush. You can always use some water for your brush and then spritz on it, et voila, it is washed. See, I had some blue at one time, I think, that I didn't wash good. You just want to wash your brush, et voila. That's it. So now you can keep on using that. So never toss that away. They're a perfect brush to do many projects. Now to mount this together, this one, this is not all the way dry. So we're going to mount the other one. But what I done, I used scissors and I just went aside. I cannot do it. It's too white. But here it is. The trick to this, it's all tight. See, you're going to age the paper there. So this going to get this way on early espresso, then on basic black, and you're going to have this over here. So now you get the look of this. Also from the Good Morning Magnolia stamp, you get Enjoy Today. I stamped that with let me think. I stamped that with Versamark embossed with white embossing powder. And now this is the one we can finish assembling. So, because it's watercolor paper or it's been wet and weather and so on, I like the Seal Plus for that, because that it's very stronger and I think I can get my paper back flat. Yes, I use my scissors all around this. And this again, it's the same that I just did with you, but this one, it's on watercolor paper, okay? And then I mount it on crumb cake, and then it's going to go on black. I will have all the color for both of the cards and the close-up pictures. So you can go at Frenchie Stamp, or the link, it's right below here. You can go right there. And now I see my battery flashing, so let's hope that we can finish that. I'm going to use quite a few glue dots to put that right here. Just go off a little bit so you get the shadow in the back. So I thought to use dimensional, but because I curl it, I think I don't need to use dimensional. I think this is going to be just what it needs. It's those glue dots. And then this one, and the other one that we just did, I think I'm going to put my greeting at the top here, but I have to let that dry. This one, I'm going to come right here. And that is punch with the classic label punch. Again, all supplies, all measurement, color, and so on will be on my blog. So here it is. Is that yummy or what? Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, give me the thumbs up. And also you get the button right there below to subscribe to my YouTube channel, so you get notified when I post. And on my blog, right below, you get the direct link to all this, the detail. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye for now.